Mic check 1 2. What it do? Welcome back to the Mic Check podcast. This is T Word, the People's Champ. Today we're talking about Coach Prime and the TV series that's premiering or showing on Amazon Prime. If you got a subscription, you've already been privy to these episodes. But before we get into that, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know what you think down in the comment section. Okay, so also, you can always support this channel by donating to the Cash App. That's THAMICCHECK 12, the Mic Check 1 2, right there on the Cash App, scrolling below the screen. So if you want to support the channel, tap in. We also have memberships where you could get early access to the videos as we drop some of these docu-series that I've been working on for the last few months. I got some good stuff coming up in boxing, some football stuff. So tap in with that. But today we're here to talk about Deion Sanders, aka Coach Prime, and the series that's running on Amazon Prime. So if you've been following along with the Coach Prime journey since he went to Jackson State, Coach Prime, the series started off on Barstool Sports, YouTube, and then it expanded to Amazon Prime while he was still at Jackson State. I believe they knew he had that Colorado deal in his back pocket. And then since he's been in Colorado, this is the first full season for that. So episode 1 and 2 dropped this week on Thursday night, I believe. And excuse me, I'm going to say that you got to behind the scenes look to some shit that you already seen before. How about that? Because his son Bucky records everything. Deion Jr. is at every event, every meeting, everything. He's always there. So a lot of this footage you've seen if you watch their content that comes out on YouTube and on Instagram. If you haven't, then all of this is new. But the first episode did a lot of covering their exit from Jackson State, how they had to sneak out of Mississippi and pretend they were going to Florida and everywhere else, Timbuktu or whatever, and end up in Colorado so they could sign the deal and then head on back to finish up for the Celebration Bowl. It also covers their recruiting process, how they had to turn the roster over. And a lot of people had things to say about this at the time that it was occurring. But if you think about it, if you're a new coach and you're going to a team that's 1-11, how many of them dudes are you actually going to keep? Let's keep it a buck. How many are you going to keep? If you've ever coached before, if you have a chance to turn over an entire roster, the last thing you want to do is inherit a bad team. And something he's on tape saying is, I had to get that loser attitude out of here. So he purged the roster. He gave them an opportunity to compete, but he already knew most of y'all ain't gonna be here. It turns out he was right. And then after the spring game, he purged a little bit more. So he destroyed the transfer portal and he brought in a lot of guys. He brought in guys from Jackson with him and from other schools. He even flipped some P5 recruits like Dylan Edwards and got them to go from Notre Dame to Colorado. And you know, the show just kind of chronicles that journey and the way that the media was covering it. You got Michael Strahan on there, who obviously is a friend of Deion. They've worked together before. So you've got people that are very close to the situation, people that live out in Denver and cover the team and cover the university talking about it. So to me, you had a very authentic look at what happened and what transpired if you weren't aware. So I like that. There was a little bit of extra footage that showed up, but for the most part, it was stuff that I'd already covered on this channel. And I think that it's just a good perspective on everything. And they try to focus on why it was important for him to turn that roster over. So I think they hammered that point home. Episode 2, they do the episodes 2 at a time. Episode 2 was the lead up to TCU, which was their first game, and this was a national championship runner-up who did purge a lot of talent from their roster, so you weren't getting the TCU that played for the championship. You were getting a different version, but this was still another P5 school that was in the rankings, and Colorado's coming in off a 1-11 season. So what I thought was interesting is how they profile certain players and how those players impacted the first game. Dylan Edwards, Bishop, defensive tackle, number 95. And then, of course, they talked to Shador and stuff like that. But you could see that the athletic director has a very direct line to Deion Sanders. They showed a lot more about his foot injuries and the surgery that he was having and the complications. And the director was right there a lot, encouraging him to get healthy, get back, do what they brought him there to do. Obviously, he has a vested interest. He's paying him to be there, but so he needs him to be able to pay dividends by being present on the sideline. So they got Deion back healthy, got him back out there. And the biggest thing I think for me was that Coach Prime is somebody that he says what he's going to do and then he does it. And I think it's hard to take that away from him, because as a coach, as a man of honor, as a man of God, he walks the walk and talks the talk. So he said he was going to run out the tunnel with his team for the first game, and he kind of trotted out the tunnel with them, and I thought that it was important for them to see him do that, something I mentioned before. But overall, these first couple of episodes don't really give you anything that you don't already have if you were following along with what their season has been doing. It didn't give you anything extra. I'm looking forward to episode 3 and 4, because I feel like we're going to get a better behind the scenes look at what happened when they faced Nebraska. Basically, I think episode 3 is going to get us to their 3-1 mark. And then episode 4 will take us into that losing part. And I think that's where we're going to see more, less manicured content. Because Amazon is producing this. This ain't the stuff that Bucky has run by his dad to make sure it's okay to publish. This is going to be stuff that Amazon said we need to put that in there. So I think that we're going to get a little bit different look when they start losing. I want to see the players, because that was kind of hidden. I want to see their mindset as they got into, I think they lost 5 straight after they got to they went 3-1. They won another one. And by the time they got to 4-1 or 4-2, they went on this losing streak for the rest of the year. So I'm interested to see what the energy was with that team, and I think this series is going to reveal that, at least a certain degree, that we're not going to get from the content coming on Well Off Media from Bucky Sanders. So have you guys watched the first 2 episodes? Let me know what you think about the series. Let me know what you think about this video. This has been T for the Mic Check Podcast. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.